Okay, this will be a cold read. I'm almost worried. Haven't read this for quite a while, so bear with me. Or don't. It's actually called Boring. Getting comfy. And let me begin. "Nah, bird," he muttered again, casting his Xbox aside. He scanned the TV guide. F all on. The baby monitor allowed him to hear his cousin gurgling away. The adults were out. He was on babysitting duty and there was no one on MSM. He'd already checked though. But 10 minutes before playing Halo, it was boring. Jay was bored, terminally bored. Homework? He'd do that on the bus on the way in tomorrow. It was now he needed to do something. Anything to do. Briefly, he tried channel surfing with the remote. But he kept getting the local news and the story of a deranged killer on the loose in his neighbourhood. Boring, he scoffed, throwing a cushion across the room. TV wasn't it. Jay needed some distraction. Just some way to unwind. Stop thinking a while. Jay crouched by his daughter's collection of discs and studied the titles one by one. Boring. 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 Jay had heard them all, on day trips out with the folks, or when his uncle had the men round to his den to watch the Vikings, or just play pool with his six-packs till stupid in the morning. So intent was Jay in his search for good sounds. He didn't hear the upstairs back windows being forced open, nor did he hear the footsteps on the upper front landing near his young cousin. "Effing A," he muttered as he worked his way through the second pile of discs. "Boring," he exclaimed with a scowl. Downstairs, Jay had cranked Iron Maiden up high. The track lasted halfway through before he suddenly decided, "That's just too boring." Jay stood and looked at his watch. 2 hours? He exclaimed and kicked the couch. Unsurprisingly, the couch didn't kick back, even though a piece of wood had been sorely damaged. Jay turned round slowly and looked at the four walls. He needed a chill. He definitely needed a chill. "Something to listen to," he expressed. "That'll help." Sounds. The problem persisted, he thought. No sounds. Then he remembered his cousin Jane's iPod. Now, did she take it with her, he mused aloud, as upstairs shadow played upon the wall. A smiled child looked up at the mobile, twirling gently in the night, and gurgled happily to itself. He'd try her room. Jay ran, not bothering with the lights. After all, he knew the house layout, he knew it well, and found Jane's room quickly, unaware of the shadow entering young Ben's room. The iPod was where he thought it'd be, on the white bedside cabinet. He plugged the speakers into his ears as he plodded quietly to the child's room to check on him and hike the sound up, only to find himself listening to Tim Finn singing "Every Day You." Okay, next. Playing with a dial to find the next album, he neither saw nor heard the interloper approach the crib. French knife in hand, its sharp blade catching light from the street light outside. Abruptly, Jade looks up. Jade looks at the green, boiler-suited figure, wearing a hockey mask, leaning over his cousin. Then, as if he were playing football, rather than watching a game, Jay took charge, running forward with a shoulder charge, unconcerned with his own safety, very aware of the blade perilously close to Benjamin's throat. He ran forward into the darkened room at speed. The impetus of his action carried him hard into the intruder's gut, winding him as he was carried backward and through the window, breaking glass. Jay fell to his knees. His windows on the sill. He stood, breathing hard, looked through the broken glass and down to the street where the figure lay, looking just like a puppet with its strings cut. Jay sighed and turned back to the crib to look down at his cousin, looking up to him with wide, open arms. He looked down, picked the child up, as his mum had shown him how to do, grinning as he looked into the child's twinkling blue eyes and happy-looking face. Well, that was interesting, he told Ben.